Everybody, let's just let the last run, roll off of our back. Last video, really, but the last run in particular was very salt-inducing. We're the keeper. We're alive, despite coming into this room. We want teleport or other bonuses. Chariot is acceptable. First room. I never like to hold R to start an episode. Like, I feel like that's bad mojo. When you're like, I'm not even going to give the game a chance to, like... I'm not gonna walk 2 rooms to get to my item room. I think that's an insult to the game. Once you've got a little inertia, once you've committed to the fact that, oh, that's right, of course every item room is just gonna be a spacebar item we can't use anyway, then you could do it whatever the heck you want with your life. Don't let me stop you. But, the first run, you gotta at least... You gotta give it a try. It just feels more meaningful that way. So, I'm starting this run pre-tilted from the last run. That's bad form. We gotta take a deep breath, recognize our tiltedness, and right the ship. I'm righted. That was the sound of the ship going whip, 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 whip. That's me saying women and children first in reverse. I constructed a whole bit in my head, but I can't do it, just because of the fact that we're the keeper. The bit was gonna be like, I get children leaving the Titanic first, okay? I hope this isn't taken out of context to make me sound like a terrible person. And it, hopefully it never comes up in my life. But, I guess 1917. Why do the women get to leave the Titanic first over the men? I'm asking a genuine question. A genuine? I'm asking a genuine question, okay? Give me a second. I'm going to come back to that diplopia. Why do the women get to leave the Titanic before the men? I'm not saying I should be on the lifeboats before anybody else. What I'm thinking is children, they're young, defenseless. They didn't buy the ticket. Their parents were like, let's go in the Titanic. And the kids were like, what if it sinks? And the parents were like, it can't sink. The scientists said, it's buoyancy, stupid. And then they all, well, the kids didn't drown. But anyway, by the way, it sounds like first off, there's no such thing as too soon here, because they made a movie about it that made $1 billion. And if it's soon enough that you can make the movie, it's probably soon enough that we can talk about it in a frank way without being necessarily mean-spirited. But the children did not choose to go on the boat. They got a long life potentially ahead of them before the Spanish flu of 1917 arrives and wipes out like 10% of the world's population. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to diplopia. That's what my life's about right now. However, I'm being sincere when I say this. Why do the women get to leave the Titanic first? Let me propose an alternative potential example. Children first, and then adults in order of ascending age. So kids get on first, and after the kids are done, if there's room, we start 18-year-olds. Once all the 18-year-olds are on, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, okay? Because I feel like, without being a jerk, I would be the guy as the Titanic's going down. I gotta try. Yeah. Weirdly, though, I think we should just buy this and then leave and then double Pageant Boy. It's weird, but let's do it. And we want to double Pageant Boy or double what's on the ground. I don't think it matters that much. When they're like, hey, load the kids on the lifeboats, I would be like, yeah, get those kids onto the lifeboats. There's some jerks out there that are like, well, I have more economic benefit to my life than a child's. They're going to be the dudes that get in arguments and getting pushed off like Billy Zane. But I'll be there. I'll be like, hold up. Can we not be sexist and be ageist instead? Why does the 80-year-old lady get to go on the lifeboat before me, a 29-year-old man? Like, the logic still applies. The children have a lot of life ahead of them. I didn't disagree with that at all. But so do I. Hey, like, listen, I know we got modern medicine. It's the year 1904. But still, some of the people getting on the lifeboats ain't going to be around that much longer. I got a chance to really provide some value to society. I've worked extra hard to make sure I don't get taken out of context here. But as I say, if I get in a plane crash and the thing's on fire, and then they go women and children first, I'll be like, you're half right. Children first, and then after that, maybe some kind of like more democratic, like, because I feel like the only argument for women and children first, there's two that I can think of right off the top of my head, and I might be wrong. There might be more, or I might be misrepresenting it to begin with. I am an idiot in my own defense. Interesting. One would be, well, women can have babies, so to have them get off the boat means that they can have more children in the future. Well, it's not that the Titanic is not Noah's Ark. What does it matter if they can have more children? They don't have to repopulate the whole Earth. It's a boat accident. The other one, and I think this is the one that would come up more often, sincerely, would be, well, women, especially then, had it harder than men. So it's the least you can do to let them get on the lifeboat first. And I would really dispute that. I think that's actually like the most you can do by definition, because after you do it, you can't do anything else because you drowned. Couldn't you just treat them better? And then not have to give up their lives? Just my 2 cents here. I don't know. I mean, I'm going back to... I'm not arguing like, oh, like, you know, though the females out there, they get too much credit, you know? If we were on the Titanic together, I'd be dead. If that's not discrimination, I don't know what is. What I am arguing, though, is like, you know, if it's between me and a 55-year-old lady, let the 55-year-old lady be on the boat a little bit longer. Not necessarily because I'm ageist, but if the logic that the children have a long life ahead of them is what gets them off the boat first, and that's, I agree with that. I will personally pick up a 28-year-old and put them on the lifeboat ahead of myself, or at least I would like to think that I would, because I'm a man of principles to an absurd degree. But I am also bald like Billy Zane was, so who knows? He wasn't bald in that movie, but he's bald in real life. But then, when a 30-year-old lady tries to get on the boat, I'm gonna be like, sorry to tell you, I'm 29.9. So, it's what I deserve. It's what I deserve. It's what I deserve for this rant, which I don't think is ill-advised, and in my own personal opinion has been hilarious, but debate me. What are the reasons you disagree with me in this situation? I would love to know. Subscribe to my Patreon. Why am I disappointed? What do you think I'm disappointed for? Because I spent 15 cents to get the poop as an item. Incredible. What an awesome turn of events. At least we've gotten some statistical improvement on this run. That's all I'm saying. You know, I'm gonna Google it, okay? Why women and children first? I just want to see what people are saying. Women and children first is a code of conduct from the 1800s whereby the lives of women and children were to be saved first in a life-threatening situation. There is no reasoning that I can find yet. Back from the boats, the first man that touches a boat, all brain. Women and children first, men. Oh, great. Captain Harrington is a white knight, so now I have to die. Tim's, give my love to my wife and boy if I never see him again. God bless you. Captain Eldad wiped away with his sleeve the salt tears which the simple epic of a brave man's death brought to his eye. That was the story, and those were the last words Tim's brought home to your mother. It was a manly way to leave the world. Manly, but perhaps a little irrational. The phrase was popularized by its use on the RMS Titanic. Hadn't we better get the women and children into the boat, sir? To which the captain responded, put the women and children in and lower away. Fair enough. Look, this is a great sentence. Murdoch took that to mean women and children first, while Second Lieutenant Lightoller took it to mean women and children only. Second Officer Lightoller lowered lifeboats with empty seats if there were no women and children waiting to board, while First Officer Murdoch allowed a limited amount of men to board if all the nearby women and children have embarked. Are you kidding me? You're telling me that this one dude, when this is like an NLSS bid come to life. Hadn't we better get the women and children on board? To which the captain said, yes, that sounds right. And then Second Lieutenant Lightoller is there, lowering empty lifeboats. Well, there's no women and children around, and can I get on the boat? Sorry, you're 18 years and 1 day old, son. I'm afraid to tell you I take all orders literally. As a result, you will all have to die. For many of you, that will be the end of your genetic lineage. Thanks for playing Life on Earth. We'll see you next time. Yo, Murdoch, you went down with the ship respectful. Lightoller, as far as I'm concerned, should be posthumously charged with involuntary manslaughter. He basically... Debate me! It directly led to the deaths of, like, dozens of people because of his inability to parse the English language effectively. That's hilarious. But also, I mean, it wouldn't be hilarious if, you know, it happened last year. It would be a tragedy. But because there was the movie and it's been a century, I'm laughing on the inside and on the outside. So there's, it was not smart. There's a certain temptation here to go and take the jumper cables, and I don't necessarily dispute it. Look, I'm now off the point of why is it women and children first, but I will tell you something. It's no longer women and children first, so it seems like planet Earth agrees with me that it was kind of an ill-advised thing, and maybe back then it made more sense, okay? But that's... Now here's... You want to get, like, offended for no reason again? Hilarious. Do you think there's ever been a disaster since the release of the movie Titanic where somebody shouted women and children first because they saw it in Titanic, and as a result that led to a similar situation? Anyway, I'm not going down this road necessarily. I don't think we need jumper cables. I think we need something better. I'm disappointed. I'm cursed. It's the only explanation. I'm cursed. In the Boy Scouts of America's Sea Scouting program, Women and Children First is considered the motto of the sea. Well, sorry to tell you, ladies, I was not a Boy Scout. In case that was ever up in the air based on my incredible knowledge of valuable life skills. All I'll say on the bright side for this one right now is we were not likely to get a deal with the devil anyway, so... Or deal with the angel, I should say. There is no legal basis for the protocol of women and children first in international maritime law. Fair enough. I don't know. Maybe it makes me sound like... It shouldn't make me sound like a bigot. It's a weird item there. It should make me sound like I value my own life. If it came down to it, we're on a boat, there's one spot left on the lifeboats. It's a hypothetical, let's not get it twisted too much. And then they're like, hey, there's only one spot left, and it's me or Kate. Kate gets on the lifeboat. Two reasons. I mean, many reasons. You know, one of them being, I'd find it hard to live with myself. And plus, the public derision would be out of control. People would be like, hey, I wouldn't say that it's fair, but the way that our society looks at things, and I would probably look at it in a very similar way, is that if somebody came back and was like, well, you know, my wife and I, there was only one spot left on the lifeboat, so we flipped a coin. You would be like, dude, what's wrong with you? Just go back in time and die. And that's not really fair. I don't know how I didn't get hit, but I'll take it. But it is what it is. I mean, after all, women and children first. All I'm saying. It might sound, wouldn't you? And I'm really, this is what I try to do with these bits. I agree pretty much, like, close to 100% with everything that I'm saying. Maybe taking it a little bit too far in some circumstances. But if there were 2 spots to get on a lifeboat, and it was between me and, like, an 80-year-old dude or lady, I don't think it matters. I would make it awkward. They'd be like, well, there's only 1 spot left on the lifeboat. I'd be like, oh, really? 1 spot left on the lifeboat? That's awkward because there's 2 of us. How are the 60s? Did you enjoy yourself during the free love period and the psychedelics and the great music and all that? That's cool. You know, I was like in school during the recession. So like, I'm just trying to, did you enjoy the greatest period in North American economic excellence? Did you buy a house using your job as a stenographer in a major metropolitan area? That's wild. I would make it weird. And if I came back and people were like, no! This run did suck, but still. If I came back and people were like, what the heck, dude? You didn't give up your seat for the 80-year-old man? I would be like, no, I didn't give up my seat for the 80-year-old. Are you crazy? Anybody, as far as I'm concerned, I don't say these words very often. Anybody out there that's like, I'd give up my seat for the 80-year-old. You're a keyboard warrior. Okay? Maybe you're right. Maybe you're more principled than me. I don't know. People seem very eager to give up their lives for these strangers. I am a strict adherent to the idea that it should, well, maybe not age necessarily, because I mean, you know, that gets, I don't know. What do you choose, you know, in a situation? I know you got to act fast as well, but I got no problem if it's me and a 26-year-old and maritime law says, you know what? It says youngest person gets on the boat first. I would be like, you know what? Them's the breaks. Thanks, Mom. Should have had me in 1994. I would probably be, like, bawling. I'd be very upset, obviously. I don't see the value in going to death with dignity, just because they didn't pack enough lifeboats. Well, if we put more lifeboats on the ship, we wouldn't have been able to fit all the champagne, silly. Yo, a chaos card. It's something, dude. What have I done? How did I not get hit? So anyway, where am I going with this? I don't know. I'm just saying, this video dedicated particularly to the men who died on the Titanic, that had to watch a half-full lifeboat go down just because of the idiocy of the second mate. That's Larry David watching, trying to get on a half-full lifeboat. And then, didn't you hear them, Larry? Women and children. Yeah, but he meant women and children first, not women and children only. You heard the captain, Larry. Stay here and die. Anyway, it's a good bit. That's why I spent 15 minutes on it. I think about that from time to time. You know, because, like, I fly, not as much as I used to, but I fly fairly frequently. And I'm always like, man, what if, like, a lost situation... It's not like I'm morbid about it anymore, but, you know, it's like, what if a lost situation happens and, like, well, not really a lost situation where we're, you know, on a deserted island, but, you know, like, there's a fire on the airplane and I have to, you know, get out. Is it my job to get other people off of this airplane? And if they're slow... This is a very ableist way to think. I'm working on it, okay? I'm trying to be a better person. But simultaneously, I'm like, dude, I'm not dying for anybody who is like, I gotta pick up my purse. If the plane is on fire and the person in front of me reaches down to get their bag from underneath them, I don't care what's in it. I've had this discussion with Twitch chat before. You know, my birth certificate's in it. You know, they don't issue replacements. I think they'll make an exception for you being in a plane crash where the plane then lit on fire. It's not like if your birth certificate burns up in a house fire, they're like, sorry, you're an undocumented citizen now, you have to leave. Leave your bag. The insurance companies will cover it. You'll be fine. Honestly, hear me out, we take Demon Baby, because we have HP anyway. Now, when you start to apply that logic to a person in front of you moving more slowly than I would like, especially, you know, you ever be on an airplane and you'll watch, you know, like the meal cart and you're starving and then, okay, let's be realistic. You're not starving. You're a little hungry, but mostly you're just bored. And then you see it and it's like 30 rows away. But the person that's 30 rows away is like, can I get a pomegranate juice? And the flight attendant is just like, have you ever heard of an airplane before? What kind of airplane do you think has pomegranate juice? I mean, yes, we have it, but only for first-class patrons. Imagine that, but like it's your life at stake. Oh, honey, did you get the pretzels from the overhead bin? You know, I get grumpy when I get peckish. You know, like, you know what's gonna happen. What do you do? Excuse me, sir. People back in 64G are worried they're gonna burn to death. Well, mind your own business, buddy. You should have been randomly selected to sit in a lower row if you wanted to not die in a completely preventable accident because I'm an idiot. Jeez, young kids these days don't understand what it's like. This is, you know, people like, they have those imaginary discussions like in the shower where they get into arguments with other people and win them. That's basically, apparently, what I've become here. It's like he's never seen Titanic, women and children, and also, for some reason, the elderly first, because we're included in that group from time to time. I'd like a key, please. All I want for Christmas is an item room key. A space bar item that I can't use properly. All I want for... Then I can wish you Merry Christmas. I do not want to use this Chaos card too early. I will cry. Dude, I'm going for it. It's not like we're substantially less likely to take damage on a room than we are against the Stain. Sure, it could happen. And I don't think there's any data to back it up. Thank you. That was extremely helpful. Followed by an item of no value whatsoever. I will look for a key. I will. I've talked about this exact same thing before in episodes. You know, I don't doubt that, you know, even... people are probably roughly the same, but like, you know, 60 years ago, you got the greatest generation coming out of World War II that they lied about their age to fight in. And then, you know, if a disaster happens, of course, people on the boat or whatever, they're looking around and they're going, this guy's 29. He's middle-aged. Well, not really back then, but you get the idea. He's been through some stuff. And then his military training snaps in and he goes, hey, women and children first, everybody off the boat, go, 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 you know. But me, as a 29-year-old born in the late 1980s, I'm still a child. Like, people my age still live at home, and it's not, like, embarrassing yet. You know, the world is just different. Everyone's always saying, like, oh, the kids grow up so fast these days. What are you talking about? We are growing up, like, my cohort of generation, my generation of cohorts, we're growing up so slowly. Have you ever heard me talk in an Isaac episode? I don't want to answer the telephone. I don't know. I don't have a script for what I'm going to say to the person on the telephone. That's me. That's not me making fun of anybody but myself. So, like, when I'm on an airplane, if there's, like, a disaster happening, as much as I'm like, I'll take one Johnny Walker Red neat, please. I'm pretending to be an adult. As soon as I hear, you know, I'm like, all right, who's the person on this plane that looks the most like my dad? Surrogate father, what do we do? And he's like, man, I don't know. I was born in the free love generation, man. I wasn't prepared for this kind of stuff. I'm just saying, okay? It's not hard necessarily to be a guy, but it would If there was ever a time where it was hard to be a man, it was probably when the Titanic was going down. And you had to watch the lifeboat be lowered into the sea at only... I literally can't imagine. Can you put yourself in those shoes? Watching a half-full lifeboat get lowered down? Something that's built to boat life? And the guy's like, Captain said, I don't know, but maybe the captain is gonna have all the men drink all the water so we don't sink. What are you... Just fill the boat up. Or maybe, you know what might have happened? Is that you had a bunch of idiots like me. Where the boat, it was 52% full of women and children. And then all the men were like, well, we should go based on economic power. No, we should go based on the number of syllables in the last name. No, we should go with men who don't... childless men should be the last ones. No, we should go with based on IQ. And the second lieutenant was just like, kill me. It's possible, I suppose. Why not, dude? Let's go for it. That's also viable. I can't believe I've talked about this for like a half hour. You know why I've talked about it for a friggin' half hour? It's because the runs, they don't give us anything else to talk about. Every run is just us mostly waiting for death to happen. Yes, go take that explosivo back to your spawn point, please. Frick. Get away from me! That explosivo is for you, not for me. Okay, we should be good. Just stay away from this guy. Thank you. Coins, please. Coins, please. Good coins, good coins. What you gonna do? Invest them wisely in a low-yield TFSA. Invested in an index fund that tracks the performance of the S&P 500. Okay. How many times have we fought this guy in this episode? 15? Sounds about right. You might as well just hit me. Oh my god, I snuck through. I knew my gluten-free diet was working out. I've heard of no bloating, but this is ridiculous, etc., etc. He's too fast. Thank you, Pretty Flies, for your incredible support. We lived. Okay. I don't know, man. We've got like a normal rate of fire. It's a new world. Sure. I wasn't ready, dude. I hate it. I just want you to blow up this rock. No! What a cursed series of Keeper runs we weave in this tangled web for now. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. It's a great deal. Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Northernlion. Be notified when I go live in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Haha.